keeper of lost prayers. My grandmother kept a tin box under her bed. It was the size of a shoebox, painted over so many times that the original color was a mystery. Layers of green, then red, then something the color of old bone showing through where the paint had cracked. She called it the collection. She never explained what she collected. When she died, the box passed to my mother. When my mother died, it passed to me. I did not open it for 11 months. I was afraid of it the way you are afraid of a thing that has waited a long time specifically for you. The box sat on the shelf in my closet, behind the winter coats, and I could feel it in the dark when I slept. Not a sound, not a warmth, but a presence. The kind of awareness that belongs to something that has been held by many hands and remembers all of them. Some inheritances are not possessions, they are responsibilities in disguise. I opened it in November, on the anniversary of my grandmother's death, because I thought the occasion would give me courage. Inside, no jewelry, no letters, no money folded in a handkerchief, only paper, hundreds of small scraps, some torn from notebooks, some cut clean with scissors, each one covered in handwriting, different hands, different inks, some in English, some in languages I didn't recognize. Each scrap held a single sentence, sometimes two, and each sentence was a prayer. Not the formal kind, not the liturgical repetitions we learn by rote. These were the other kind, the desperate, private, midnight kind that people speak when they believe no one is listening. Please let him come back. Don't take her yet. Let me be forgiven for what I did in March. Make it stop. Tell me I wasn't wrong. Some were unsigned. Some carried only a first name, a date, a city. One said simply, I don't know who I'm asking. I just need someone to hold this. My grandmother had been holding them. For how long I couldn't know. I found her journal wedged beneath the false bottom of the box, a thing I would not have found had I not been looking for something to explain what I'd already seen. She wrote that she had discovered the practice from her own grandmother, who had learned it from a woman in a village outside Krakow, who had no name that anyone remembered. The practice had no name either, no scripture, no church, only the rule. If someone cannot carry their prayer anymore, you take it, you hold it, you do not throw it away. My grandmother wrote that she had held prayers for 63 years, that some of them resolved. She would feel them lighten, she said, the way a room feels different after someone opens a window, and she would fold those slips to one side. Others grew heavier over time, those she kept closest. She wrote that a prayer held by another person is not abandoned, it is tended. It is the difference, she said, between leaving a candle unlit and leaving it burning in someone else's hands. I read until 2 in the morning. When I finally stopped, I realized I had been holding a prayer the whole time without knowing it, the prayer on the slip closest to me. It said, let her find this, let her understand what to do. It was in my mother's handwriting. There is a particular quality to the moment when a thing you have carried as grief becomes something else, not lighter, but different, reorganized. I had spent 3 years since my mother's death, feeling that she had left without saying what she meant to say, and now I understood that she had said it the only way she knew how. She had put it in the box. She had trusted the box to wait for me. She had trusted me to eventually stop being afraid. The dead do not leave without leaving instructions. We just don't always know which drawer to check. I became the keeper the night I folded my mother's prayer and placed it in the left side of the tin, the resolved side. I don't know if I was the one who resolved it. Perhaps it resolved itself in the finding. What I know is that from that night forward, people began to come to me the way they must have come to my grandmother, not with requests, with burdens. A co-worker who slid a folded note across a desk without meeting my eyes. A stranger at a bus stop who pressed something into my hand and walked away before I could speak. An envelope left on my windshield with no return address. The prayers fill a second box now, then a third. I keep them in the closet behind the winter coats, in the dark, where I can feel them when I sleep. They are heavy. They are also the heaviest and most honest things I have ever been trusted with. People think prayer is about asking for things. They think unanswered prayer is failure. But I have held enough of them now to know. The point was never the answer. The point was having somewhere to put the unbearable weight of hoping. The point was knowing that somewhere, in a tin box behind someone's winter coats, your prayer is being held by someone who will not let it fall. Every prayer that was never answered was answered exactly once. Someone said, "I will carry this for you," and they did. If you're carrying something you were never meant to carry alone, know that you don't have to. There are keepers in the world, more than you think. Thank you for listening to Storytime Scary Dark. Subscribe for new stories every week, and share this with someone who needs to know their prayers are not lost, just held.